As we are still at work, and our women are still also at work, laboring hard, um, there are some few questions that we need to ask ourselves. But these ones are for our Alkebulan queens, our Alkebulan princesses, our Alkebulan beautiful women. That we want to be able to know, to say, how do you measure yourself as a woman? How do you measure yourself as a woman? That is the main question that I have for you, beautiful queens, daughters of Africa, daughters of the Most High, to say, how do you measure yourself as a woman? How do you measure your maturity? How do you measure your standards? How do you measure your achievements? How do you measure your social impact? How do you measure your security? How do you measure your goals? How do you measure your mental state? How do you measure your cultural state? How do you measure your family impact? How do you measure your norms? Do you even know how these impacts are to you, or how these impacts the young women out there? What is your role in this 21st century in relation to how our young women behave? Are you a solution, or are you part of the problem? Let us engage, African women. Let us engage in these things, because these are questions that we must be able to answer. These are the questions that we must be able to look at each time when the sun rises, so that when we rest, we know what to pray for. This is not the time to pray for a glamorous life. This is the time to, to act, to get in that glamorous life. This is the time to act in order to get that which will help our children to grow. Because we cannot be just seated in our homes. We wake up and we go to work, and then we complain about how our children are acting. What is it that as a woman, what value are you adding in society? Are you just waking up every day? Are you just sucking in the education that has assisted you? What is it that you are doing so that you can be able to improve the lives of the African women? What is it that you are doing, African, you Alkebulan women, in this 21st century? What is it that, what is your role exactly today? Because you are saying the African narrative is not good for you. Again, you are taking these European concepts, but when you move forward, it is not okay with you. Because these women that you see in social media, they are always lonely. Okay, always lonely, always broken inside, because they are worshiping what is controlling them. And at the end of the day, they don't understand who they are. So what is your role? Have you sat and you asked yourself these questions to say, who am I and what role am I going to play, especially in the grooming of our young African beautiful girls, African female ladies, African women? What is it? What is the impact that you long to do? Because if you say that you do not have an impact, you do not have any cultural basis, then it means you are teaching them subconsciously, you are teaching them something which you yourselves do not understand that you are engaging in. So it means whether you say you are not engaging in the process of a revolutionary struggle against these Europeans, then it means somewhere, somehow, it might be that you are engaging in it. Because in the struggle, if you say you do not want to partake, you are partaking in that manner. So ask yourself this while you are still at work. Ask yourself this when you are making dinner. Ask yourself this as you are going to partake in the means of production, and in the means of education, and in the means of social participation. These are the questions that the African women must be asking themselves. African Bulen.